Hey, I'm J Cosmic Hey, and welcome to my video. Today I will be doing a Marvel Legends unboxing and toy review, and there will be no particular theme. If there were to be a theme, it would be the big, chonky, thick boys and everybody else. If you have seen my unboxing and review videos before, welcome back. If you haven't, what I am going to do is I'm going to unbox a Marvel Legend action figure, give my thoughts on each figure, and give a final score at the end. With that said, the figurines I will be unboxing and reviewing are as followed. So we have Spider-Man's Rhino, Gargantos from the Gamerverse, whoa, Marvel's Juggernaut, Daredevil from Born Again, and the last one I have a major gripe with, specifically with Amazon, and that is Extremis Iron Man and Mandarin, who you cannot see. So I guess this will be a surprise unboxing, and we'll see how Mandarin looks for the first time, since Amazon decided, instead of putting this in a box, let's just stick the labels on the box directly, which is really frustrating because while I am unboxing these figurines, this would really suck for anyone who is an inbox collector. Now, before we get to the unboxing, one thing I noticed on the back of the Gamerverse boxes, which is sending me, is poor Silver Samurai is getting laid out by both Gargantos and Juggernaut. So I guess if you are a fan of Silver Samurai, pour one out for him. With that said, let's get to the unboxing, starting with Rhino. Now, Rhino has quite some heft to him. I already have a spot for him on my shelves, that being with the other animated series figurines. So let's unbox him. Got my trusty X-Acto. Cue the speed up montage. Not once have I made contact with any of the figurines because I am careful and I am thorough. Oh, this plastic is a bit difficult. So we're going to pop them out of the packaging here. Oh my god, hit myself in the face. Here is Rhino. Now off camera, I already tested the articulation, and while he is a big, thick, chunky boy, he can't quite T-pose. He doesn't quite bend like anyone who is not a big, thick, chunky boy does, but the quality in the paint job and the sculpt is there. The accessories he comes with are an alternate head and two hands, which I might actually bin the two hands because while I do have a gripe with excessive fists being on Rhino, somebody who is a brawler, just makes sense. So we're going to pop these out of the packaging. So here's hand one. Here is hand two, which is a grippy hand. And the spare head. Now my thoughts on Rhino overall as a figurine, again as mentioned, the articulation is not 100%, but I can't really fault him for his size. He can twist at the hips, not necessarily the chest, but he at least has decent movement. Love the paint job, love the sculpting. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5 just because the movement is not 100%, but the quality is there. The next figurine I'm going to unbox will be Gargantos, as pictured here. So we're going to pop him out of the box. I've got that little slip that always pops out. Now, he's a part of the Gamerverse set, as he appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom. I didn't play the game per se, but I live with someone who has. Now, I'm debating on putting him on a separate Gamerverse shelf or with Doctor Strange, just because I know him from the Doctor Strange comic books. Here is the figurine. Now, already, this is one you're going to have to assemble, which I kind of anticipated. He is a blob eyeball with tentacles. So let's pop these out of the packaging and get them attached to the figure. One thing not pictured that fell out is this spike ball as well, which I believe is an accessory. So let's open the packaging. So here's his main body. Arm 1, which actually feels nice and bendy. And don't get any ideas, you dirty-minded people. But you gotta admit, it does look kind of phallic before you attach them. So there's 3 arms. And the remaining 3 arms. Hopefully your volume is not cranked at this part. And now we're going to attach the arms to the figurine. What's nice is these don't have to be attached in any particular order just because they're just random tentacles. They do attach nice and easy. They just snap right in place. I'm impressed by the sheer size of this figurine, and I love that you can actually make the eyeball blink. What I also love is that the lower eyelid and upper eyelid are functional. It's actually kind of creepy if you hate eyeball stuff, but my final thoughts on this figurine, where do I even put this? Based on the sheer size alone, I am impressed by the detail put into this. I love the flexibility of the arms. I just think he looks cool, and gotta give Gargantos a 5 out of 5, just simply based on the scale, the detail. You even get a little accessory that comes with him too. So I mean, come on. This figurine, 5 out of 5 stars. Let's move on to the next. The next figurine I'm going to unbox is Juggernaut, who is mainly known as an X-Men villain, but has appeared in the Marvel vs. Capcom games as well. So let's pop him out of the box. Now, this figurine has some heft and some weight to him, but that's a given. Juggernaut is supposed to be big and bulky, much like the Rhino figurine. Before we pop Juggernaut out of the packaging, he has a nice little punch effect that goes with his fists, as well as spare hands. Now, again, as somebody who hates excessive fists, I might actually keep them on Juggernaut just because, again, he is a brawler and I feel like he doesn't really need to grip anything. Unless he's throwing an enemy, but he's just going to be displayed. So let's pop him and his accessories out of the package. Here's the Juggernaut. My bad accent. I don't know why they made him Scottish when he's from New York, much like Xavier, but hey. His punch accessory, which I love, and I'm going to pop on him. And his spare hands. My final thoughts on Juggernaut, I tested the articulation off camera, and I gotta say it's better than the Rhino, considering how big he is in comparison. And while I am annoyed by another Juggernaut release, or I would have been annoyed, because he was a Build-A-Figure and got a re-release, the sheer size and scale and detail of this figurine is impressive. Like, you see almost chainmail detail on his core here, which I love because he is supposed to be big and metallic, and it doesn't appear his helmet pops off, but why would it? He's unstoppable. Now, this figurine, it sounds like I'm just on a giving 5 out of 5 spree, but I have no negatives. Juggernaut Gamerverse is a 5 out of 5 figurine, and if you're not collecting the Gamerverse figurines and you're just an X-Men fan, he would be great on a variety of shelves or displays. So Juggernaut cannot recommend enough. The next figurine I'm going to unbox is Born Again Daredevil. Now, I haven't watched the newest season yet, but from what I've heard about it, um, I'm hesitant just because it doesn't sound that good to me, but again, don't know until you watch. I'll get to it eventually, but I do love how the suit looks in figure form. Now, I do have the Far From Home Matt Murdock head, and it's too bad that he doesn't have a Matt Murdock head with him, but that's swappable enough. However, he does have a decent amount of other accessories. He comes with 2 batons, 2 spare hands, and rope to excuse me, and rope to go with his baton. So let's pop him and his accessories out of the package. So here's Daredevil. Now to the accessories. Here is the rope that goes with his batons. His actual batons. And his spare hands are an open hand and a fist, which I will bin because he has grippy hands and he has 2 batons to grip, and I don't see the point of having another fist. So in the bin it goes. So this is Born Again Daredevil, and I gotta say the articulation on this figure is top notch. A lot of the time the figurines can do a standard T pose. His arms go beyond that. He can like what's the term? He can bend his body beyond like what would normally be possible for the figurines. So props to that. I love the detail of the costume. Like you can see that it is fabric. He has a holster for his batons. And I love that he has the stubble going. I am a fan of stubble, but it is accurate to the character. And even the detail on the mask is just well done. You can see kind of the Kevlar details as well as all the boot buckles. Like the more I look at it, the more impressed I am. Honestly, 5 out of 5. Last but not least, I'm going to blind react to Mandarin and unbox Extremis Iron Man. Again, Amazon putting stickers directly on the box. Really? You're a billion-dollar company. Come on, get it together. You're lucky I'm not an inbox collector because I would be asking for a refund, but I am opening this, so not too bothered. Now, when Mandarin was announced, I was super excited just because he's somebody who feels essential to any Iron Man collection, especially with how many Iron Men have been released. I am annoyed that we got another Extremis Iron Man because he was released individually. However, he does have a decent amount of accessories. These accessories could have come with the figurine that was released previously, so this is really just a spare that I have. I'll find a place for him eventually, but Mandarin, I'm disappointed that he was released in a suit when he has cooler costumes, like he has his cool extravagant robes, as well as like from the Iron Man cartoon in the 90s, like he had the green skin and the scales. I just think that's more impressive than the suit, but it does go with the Extremis era of Iron Man, so I get it. It's easy enough to do. However, I do hope we eventually get a more granted this is from the comics, but a more visually exciting Mandarin. So we're going to pop him out of the box first. I guess out of the plastic, he's already out of the box. Now what I like about Mandarin is he has an alternate head as well as hands. The alternate hands having claws on them. What I don't like about this already is Mandarin is known for having his rings. None of these hands have his rings, but I didn't really read this story. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest Iron Man fan, but I do see his importance in the Marvel comics. How do you release Mandarin without his rings? I guess you could say this is Mandarin the businessman, not the evil crime lord. He's not any more threatening than the one in the Iron Man 3 movie, which says a lot. Holy... Oof. We're not going to go there today. Let's pop out his hair with... Let's pop out his head with the gray hair. it is cool that he has an alternate head and hands, as well as power signature, even though he doesn't have rings, so I'm not sure what the power signature is for. If I'm being nitpicky, let me know. It's just the details that are important, you know? Especially as somebody who is a collector and reads the books. Granted, I haven't read modern Iron Man. I mostly just know him from the 90s and from the Avengers. That's where I read my Iron Man. So we got his 2 power signatures out of the packaging. We have his clawed non-ringed hands. And of course, he comes with fists. And you can guess where the fist... Well, actually, wait a minute. He comes with fists, but they actually have the rings on them, so he might actually get them just because Mandarin needs his rings. How do you have Mandarin without his rings? I was going to say let's bin these, but Mandarin needs them. So this is Mandarin overall. The figurine itself is really not all that impressive. Him getting alternate hands with his rings did kind of make up for it, but I think there's better looks and costumes that are more iconic to him than this plain business suit. If you swap off this head for anybody else, like this body could be anybody. So it's really forgettable. The fact that they chose this era of Mandarin is a bit disappointing, but I mean, we have him at least. I'm going to give this figurine probably my lowest rating so far this year, and that is a 2 out of 5. I love that he got a decent amount of accessories, but the quality is just not there, and I think they could have done better with Mandarin. Let's get to Extremis Iron Man, who I feel like we didn't really need. Now, I do love that this comes with the Tony Stark head attached without the helmet on. The previous Extremis Iron Man figurine did not have that, but I feel like a lot of the mistakes they made with the previous figurine, they made up for on this one. I do hate... My other gripe is this was Amazon exclusive, and I really don't want to support Amazon, but I wanted Mandarin more so than Extremis Iron Man. However, this figurine actually does look nice. I hate complimenting or saying anything positive about Iron Man, but it is a quality figurine. Now, the accessories he comes with is his fully helmeted head, 2 blast accessories, and of course fists. We're going to pop those out. Here's his helmet. His blasty accessories. And his fists, which are of course going in the bin. Now this is Extremis Iron Man overall. My final thoughts on this figurine, I'm probably going to give him a 3.5 to a 4 out of 5. Probably a 4 just because the figure is quality, has great articulation, love the paint job, really would look good on any display, whether it be Iron Man or Avengers. However, it has been done before, but I mean, if you missed out on the first one, the previous one I feel like I've seen on clearance racks, at least where I live, so how you missed out, can't really say, can't really speak on anybody's situation, but it is a nice figurine. It is good quality. It's just, we don't need another Extremis Iron Man, especially when there's so many other characters that haven't been done. So that is my thoughts on this figurine. Now that the haul has come to an end, my top 2 picks of the week are Born Again Daredevil and Juggernaut for different reasons, although Gargantos is a great figurine as well. However, if I am going to pick a top figurine, I got to give it to Born Again Daredevil. Just looking at the quality of the figurine, the detail, the amount of accessories, you can't really deny it. It is highly recommended. Although Juggernaut is a close second, so I'll give him that, and then Gargantos third. The Iron Man 2-pack, honestly, don't waste your money unless you really want Mandarin or don't have Extremis Iron Man, but if you bought the previous Extremis, I'm holding out that they release a better Mandarin, just because this one is just not up to standard. And I think Rhino is fine. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and toy review. I do have plenty of figurines coming in all the time just because I am a regular collector. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what your favorites and least favorite are if you own these, or which figurines you liked or disliked based on what I showed. As well, be sure to like, share, and subscribe as the engagement helps. I would like to make more content to share with everyone. And speaking of content I share with everyone, I want to give a shout out to those who are signed up for my Liftoff and Cosmic Defender tier on Patreon. It means a lot and is very much appreciated. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching.